Underweight and abused horses arrive daily at Victoria Goss and Don Chalmers' Athens home. The couple's residence houses Last Chance Corral, a horse rescue shelter formed in 1986 by Victoria that rehabilitates and finds new homes for over 300 foals and adult horses each year.
It's an awesome responsibility, and they're expensive. I mean, they're my passion. And I'm always here to do the work. It just breaks my heart when I don't have anything to work with. But I love what I do. I mean, I absolutely love it.
Victoria says she knew saving horses was her calling after the authorities' lack of concern left a horse dead.
One day when I was 20 or 21, there was a horse that was starving. And I called the authorities, and I called the authorities, and they didn't do anything. And I finally couldn't take it anymore. And I got a lead rope, and I snuck down in the dead of night to steal the horse. And he was dead. And I made a promise to that dead horse, and I keep my word. I gave up everything else in my life.
Victoria soon witnessed more tragedies while working in the horse industry, which turned her personal crusade into a nonprofit rescue shelter.
I was dealing with horses that people had given up on with behavioral problems. Horses essentially that were driven crazy by humans. If I break a bone, it is expected that I will heal and be given time. If a horse breaks a bone, it is expected that they will be killed. And time heals a lot of wounds, and more sick horses, as well as the misunderstood horses, started coming my way. And it kind of snowballed into what it is today.
A lot of horses come into the Last Chance Corral without much hope. Some are malnourished. You obviously can see they're underweight. For example, right here is Tucker. He was taken to a slaughterhouse, but you can see that through programs like the Last Chance Corral, the horses get some hope and they get chances to be adopted. According to the Humane Society of the United States, nearly 100,000 horses are slaughtered each year because of illness, injury, or lack of economic value. Don drives over 100,000 miles a year to help reduce that number.
It's the nurse mare foal season, which starts on Valentine's Day. The nurse mares come from generally around thoroughbred breeding industry, which is Kentucky, Lexington, Louisville. So when they call, we have to leave like then or the next day at the latest. So that's usually 2-3 times a week.
Victoria says horses also come to Last Chance because owners don't realize the enormous responsibility and cost. The shelter spends up to $500 a day on milk alone.
You know, a lot of times we've got foals that will be on feeding tubes and blood transfusions and IVs for, days and days on end. There was one this weekend that I placed that I had to tube feed every 2 hours around the clock for 9 days, and then she finally came to life.
Once the horses are stabilized, they can be adopted. But Last Chance Board of Directors member Karen Richards warns that owning a horse is not easy.
They're big animals, they're expensive animals. They take a lot of maintenance and a lot of education to understand their physiology, their illnesses, their diets, and their idiosyncrasies. You can't just toss them out in a pasture and expect them to thrive.
So Victoria, Don, and other Last Chance workers and volunteers will continue to save horses from owners who destine them to grisly fates.
They all deserve a chance. To be born just to die is that's not acceptable.